What's up, you guys? My name is Isabel. I am 23 years old and I'm a Dutch Moluccan living in the Netherlands. So yeah. So today is the 11th of February 2020 and on July 27th I traveled together with my aunt and her family and my uncle and his family to the Maluku Islands. I went to visit my home country for the very first time. And while I was there, I compiled a lot of footage, I vlogged a bit. So this is an introduction to a series of videos that I have edited together by using the footage that I took when I was there. It's 2020 now, and I have been avoiding looking at that footage or editing that footage, touching that footage at all for like months. Now, I finally had the feeling, had the urge to look at the footage. And so I did. And after I looked at the footage, I was like, you know what? I should do something with it. I did it purely because I wanted to. I figured that maybe compiling them together, taking little bits and pieces from each video that I have, putting them all in a few videos would make it easier for me to look back upon. Hi guys! Different Isabel, different timeline, different background, different lighting. A mess. After rewatching the video that I've made a few times, I realized there was some information that was missing that I thought was very important. So I'm just going to drop this clip in the midst of the video and hope that it will all kind of make sense at the end. Project Pulang is a series of videos that is mostly centered about the travel diaries of me traveling to the Maluku Islands. And next to that, I will also have some extra videos. I've named it Project Pulang because the word Pulang means home, going home. A lot of the times when we as Dutch Moluccans travel to the Maluku Islands, we always refer to it as Pulang, going home. And with my backstory and with my journey, trying to connect with my heritage, I thought it was very fitting to call this project Pulang. And I will go into all of that after this, but I thought it was important to know that this is just a series of videos of me connecting with my heritage. It's a very close to my heart type of project. I'm putting myself out to be very vulnerable. It is in no way, shape, or form something that is professionally edited, scripted, timelined, none of that. I was doing this very intuitively, very free-flowing. It's basically a way for me to creatively express myself while connecting with my heritage and discovering more about myself through connecting with my heritage, and how, even though I've tried to disconnect with my heritage for so long, how it has played a very big role in who I was, who I am, and who I'm going to be in the future. I hope that was kind of a clear summary. After this, I will be going into the backstory and why I'm doing this and why this is so kind of important for me. So yeah, I hope it was clear. I will stop rambling right now and go into the rest of the video. Bye guys. I am now in a phase right now where I'm trying to figure out what home, the concept of a home, means to me. Because throughout my life, I always had a very abstract concept of home. I never had it fall into place for me. But I'm realizing it now. And I've been realizing it, while working on these videos. I started to realize more and more how I have always been looking. What is home to me? How does it feel like? Why isn't it falling into place for me? And why hasn't it? I was born in the Netherlands. I grew up in the Netherlands. I don't know any better. And during my childhood, everyone, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, they all tell you that Maluku Islands is your home, that's where you belong. When you go there, everything will fall into place, and all of that. Because I grew up here in the Netherlands, I had a very hard time distinguishing who I was and loving all parts of myself when society that I live in made me feel like I should hate myself. So throughout my life, it's been incredibly difficult being able to relate to my heritage, being able to relate to my ethnicity. I didn't understand because all of my life I've seen differently. And when people talked about us in the news, the picture that is being painted is that we are gang members, we are hot-headed, we are aggressive, and that we're dangerous. For me, really was like, how can I find beauty within that when all that is being told about us is that we're bad people? I hated my skin color. I hated that I was born Moluccan. I was like, this makes my life even 10 times more difficult. Why couldn't I be born as a white girl, you know? And I hate saying that right now. So throughout my life, I had a hard time. I'm trying to find peace with myself, with being a woman of color, with having a dark skin, with having the heritage that I have. And it wasn't really until I turned 20 that I started to become more curious about who I was, my heritage, how my heritage affects me. And that was really when I was at a point where I was trying to purge myself from all this internalized racism that I had. Around the age of 20, I started to become more aware of my thought patterns. I started to become more aware of why I was thinking the way I was thinking, and I started to become more uncomfortable with those thought patterns. Like, why am I thinking that way? So I started to become more curious. I started asking more. I started to ask for stories. Where do we come from? Who is my great-grandparent? And all of that. And after I've actually watched Moana, I had the feeling of, I want to go home. The home that everyone tells me that is home. I want to experience that for myself. And so I was at my aunt's house. My aunt just came back from the Maluku Islands from vacation with her family. So we were there, and my aunt asked my mom, do you want to go with me next year? Do you want to go? And my mom was like, I would love to, but I'm already going on vacation. I'm passing. And because, I don't know, the words came out of me before I fully realized I was saying that. And I was like, if mom is not going, can I go? Can I come with you? And I remember my aunt just looking at me, my mom just looking at me like, what? But that was the start. I was like, yeah, I want to go. Ever since I've came back from the Maluku Islands, every time I find myself struggling, every time I find my depression zooming in on me, and or I find that the universe is throwing a brick at my head, I turn back to the memories of being in Ambon. Those memories that keep me strong. Knowing that I was able to experience that. Knowing that I was able to meet such wonderful people. I'm so grateful that I was able to experience this. To be as privileged as I am to be able to experience. Being able to live locally, which is also a privilege. I know not a lot of other, Moluccans who go there have the privilege to be able to have a family that you have very close ties with and that you want to stay with, and to be able to live locally like that. I know not a lot of people have that privilege, and I do. I am so grateful to be able, to know that if I ever want to come home, I have a home. If I ever want to go back, I can do that. That it's possible. It just makes me excited for when I will go back. I don't know when I will go back. We are very superstitious people, so we can't make promises on when we will go back, because if it doesn't happen, the ancestors will come get your ass. Anyways, this is all that I have. It's not a documentary style, so don't think of it as it being a documentary. It's really just like a travel vlog. Cute little travel vlog. I speak English because English is the most comfortable language for me. I don't know, I always feel like because I'm Dutch, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I just always feel like I have to justify why I'm speaking English, or to justify why I like to do things in the English language. I just feel comfortable in that language. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will enjoy this series, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!